Self-Storage Luncheon. I am Stacy Gorman, your president, and just have a few announcements and we'll get started on this very exciting program with our star, Scott Zucker. First off, I want to welcome, we've got some new members here from Herbert Construction. Amanda, Barry, and Doug. Welcome. We're glad you joined, and I'll give you a hearty welcome, and I'm sure if you haven't received one of these nice portfolios, you'll be getting one in the mail soon. Are there any other new members here that I don't know about? All right, then I'm going to go around the tables and just see who may be here for the first time. We'd love to welcome you and just find out a little bit about you.
Okay. We make some introductions.
Sure.
as guests. All right, so I've got Vince Tenges, who's a former general counsel for Life Storage, who's joined my firm effective today. So welcome. Please don't take it out when you want to take it out against me. Don't take it out against him. You guys. And, so welcome, Vince, to our firm. I want to make sure I also introduce Steve Linton from Public Storage is visiting us today. And Doug Bell, who's here. Where's Doug sitting? Doug Bell from Republic West is right there. I want to make sure everyone got the nod. Thanks for being here, guys.
Hey, thank you, Scott. All right. Anybody else at your table, Scott? Table behind you?
No, Boyd. Introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Boyd Guy with Warren Commercial Real Estate out of Nashville, and we're in the development business and have some property we might want to do some storage work on. So just here to learn and network and meet some new folks. Thank you.
Anyone else at that table? All right. Richard, anyone at your table?
I'm Jarrell Whitfield. I'm area field manager with U-Haul in the Southern Atlanta region. It's my first time here today with Michael and Chris. Just give us more information.
Great, welcome. And at the back table, I know we have two people. They're with me, so I'll introduce. One is Craig Gorman, who, if you don't recognize, is my husband. And then I also have Julia, and Julia is an intern, and I just forgot your last name, Julia, I'm sorry. Lance, Julia Lance, sorry. And Julia is an intern with me this summer. She's been helping on the rent survey, which we'll be presenting next month, so I wanted her to come and see how this all works. How about the table next to it? Anyone new back there?
Brian Marshburn, State's member with King Industrial Realty. Just came here to meet everybody and appreciate the opportunity.
Great, welcome. Okay, Fred, anybody at your table?
Hi, I'm Greg Latour. I'm with Calumet Bank. We're a Georgia-based community bank, and we have capital to put out there. So it's exploring what's out there in the market right now.
Great, welcome.
Hi, I'm Valerie Visa. I'm with Janus International, and typically Leanne would attend, but she couldn't today, so I'm taking her place, and it's my first time. So nice to meet you all, and look forward to talking to you.
Welcome. Okay, Jasmine, your table. Okay. All right, behind there. Jason, anyone at your table?
My name is Peter Bascom. I'm owner of Storage. Second time here. Maybe become a member. So.
Well, we hope you do. Welcome. All right, I know we got another one.
I'm Ken Avery. Just new to this whole business as well, just checking it out. So looking to build something soon, and just wanted to kind of start on the shoulders and understand a little more. So.
Great, welcome, Ken. You're pulling a big crowd today. All right, we had Herbert Construction. Anybody else at that table?
Hey, how you doing? My name is Joshua Parm, area manager for REBP LLC. Primarily, we do commercial warehouse spaces, but we do also have a small footprint when it comes to self-storage, including Atlanta storage.
Great, welcome. Okay, our last table here.
We had one left.
It's one too many
He's
introductions.
coming back.
All right. Well, thank you all for attending. We hope you find this to be very worthwhile and do want to join. And speaking of joining, one of the major benefits you get is a discounted rate to the conference that's coming up in October. And if you, on the screen here, it keeps showing different speakers who will be at our conference on October 1st to the 3rd. And if you sign up as a member, you will get a big discount on registration. So be sure to check out the special membership rates for the rest of the year. Let's see. Oh, and if you are signing up, be sure to get your hotel room at the Hyatt because they are going fast. And we have one more person who needed to introduce himself at this first table here. That is Dan.
I'm Will Hogan. I'm here just kind of learning, and I don't have a facility yet. I actually sell sports medicine, medical devices, so I have no relevance here whatsoever.
We all started in your shoes at one point.
Yes.
So.
Yes, but I've been talking to
Braces.
everybody's been super helpful, so just
Great.
eager to
Well,
learn.
welcome.
Thanks.
All right, are there any announcements that any members have to make that I'm forgetting? If not, I'm going to introduce our sponsor today, which is Bader and Christy Lewis. Come on up. All right, Christy, the table is yours. Thank you so much for sponsoring.
Hello, everybody. I know a lot of you were expecting Tim Parnell, but he got caught out of the office at the last minute, so y'all get me. I won't be as long-winded as Tim. But anyway, my name is Christy Lewis. I'm a senior account manager at Bader Company. I've been with Bader Company for 14 years come this September. So as you can all imagine, I've seen a lot of changes over the years. A few examples of that is back in 1998, it's a couple of years before I started, Bader started with 6 employees. Today we're over 30 employees, so that's a great thing. We also, back then we might be lucky to see 200 claims a year, which we wish we only had 200 claims a year now. But last year, for example, we settled or processed 6,338 claims. So that's a big leap from back in the day. As well as settling all of our claims in-house with our licensed adjusters and processors. We do practically everything in-house. We don't outsource to other companies to provide those services. We have a great claims team as well as our customer service representatives with over 416,000 certificate holders and 2,700 storage facilities that we offer our program at. Our customer service representatives handled over, 22,800 calls last year. So they're very busy in the office, but they do a great job. So as many of you know, Bader has been in business for over 25 years, offering a top-of-the-line tenant insurance program for you and your customers, as well as a commercial lines product. I'm going to keep this short because I do have a little video for you guys to watch at the end. So that if you need or are interested in tenant insurance or commercial needs, please stop by and talk to me later on, and I'd be more than happy to chat with you. And at that, I'm going to turn it over and let them play a little video for you, and I look forward to speaking with you.
Their program is just smooth. It just works. And one thing that's really nice for me as an owner is to have stability on the other end. And so, my team, my claims team, my sales team, they've been the same since day one. So we've built kind of uniformity in the way we work together, and I'm not always learning new tricks or talking to new people or renegotiating a deal or anything.
We've processed claims, over 5,000 claims a year. We take 7,000 phone calls a year. We've been doing it for over 25 years. We understand the tenant insurance business.
Bader is one of the original companies in that segment of the industry. They hooked up with Uncle Bob's and provide all of their tenant insurance. And as an owner and an operator, it's something that we can rely on in terms of helping to lease the property, that the tenant has some assurances that their goods are covered in the case that there is a catastrophic event.
With 25 years experience, there's no one out there that can do what we do. And I'm talking from the standpoint of training to using sales tools that we have available that are tested, that have been proven in the industry. So I think it's the leadership position that we have. And I think that our business in total, we've got scale now where we can do a lot of things that a lot of the other competitors can't do.
I've worked with Baylor ever since I've been in the industry, which is 11 years in December. They're the gold standard, in my opinion, of what tenant insurance was. I mean, they're one of the inventors of the product, and so I really trust what their guidance is as far as implementing programs and using their products to benefit my facility.
All right, yeah, thank you, Bader, for your sponsorship. Without further ado, I'm going to call our speaker for the day up, Scott Zucker. Everybody, a round of applause for Scott.
Why am I tempted to sing a song right now? I'm sorry. I'll try to hold off on that. So, a couple things before we start the program. You know, obviously, I've done this for you guys a lot of years. I appreciate you still coming out. I think the fact we have new people is because if you've seen me do this before, you wouldn't have come back. So it's good to get some new folks here. And you realize that over the years that I've done this, especially with this group, the Georgia group, that, and I wish Ann was here to remind me that we've been doing this now for over 25 years together. You guys are, like, you know, my storage family, so I get to do things with you that are a little more fun than I might do at some of the other state programs or national programs that I speak at. So if you remember, we played Jeopardy in the past, right? Last time I experimented with you, who wants to be a self-storage millionaire? I don't think that went very well, but thank you for your kind applause. And we're going to try something new again today, so we'll have a little fun in a minute. But before I started, I wanted to, even though my program will include a legal education element to it, is the fact that I do want to talk to you a little bit about what just happened over the last month that affected the association, and that was the moratorium against self-storage development in the Atlanta Beltline District, the overlay district. And for those of you who have been seeing the emails that have come out from Samantha and from Stacy about the fact that for whatever reason, and we're still a little unclear as to what triggered the event that would determine that self-storage facilities are no longer wanted or seen as reasonable construction or use in the Atlanta Beltline District, it's sort of an insult to our industry. And without real cause for it. The council person who put it forward to say that there was no more construction within the Beltline District came out with a moratorium with very limited input from the areas around her to support the moratorium. It was a moratorium until they could change the ordinance that would prohibit self-storage in the Beltline District. And not even just prohibit new construction, but would prohibit redevelopment, renovation, or conversion of existing properties. It literally was, honestly, one of the stupidest things we've ever seen, but it went forward. So when we heard about it, and I want to thank guys like John Arnold. John, are you here? That came forward because of his connection with the Atlanta City Council to let us know about some of these things that were happening. We got the association together, and with the leadership of Samantha and Stacy and the board members, went forward in front of the zoning board and defeated the ordinance at that meeting. They literally were the only ones, everything else passed, we defeated the ordinance at the meeting. So you all should understand that without an association and without great leadership, it would not have happened. Now, we won, what's the expression? We won the battle, we still have the war. We won at the zoning board review. It is still going in front of the city council. It's been delayed, and it may go in front of the city council sometime in August. And really what it is, even if you're not in the Beltline District, it's the fact that for some government agency to say we don't want self-storage is to me an affront to our industry and to the right that we have to have the properties and projects that we want in Atlanta and also in Georgia and around the country. And we think if we can battle this one, it would be a good precedent for battling other ones around the country. So I'll update you as we know more about the moratorium, but really the message on this more than anything else is associations work. You guys are great. We know that some of you reached out to your council people, if you live in Atlanta, to let them know that you were upset about it. So associations work. So I'm just, more than anything, I'm really proud of you guys. You did great. You did great. All right. So, having said that,
you too.
Thank you. I'll send you my bill later. All right.
I'll send you mine.
That's what I'm worried about. All right. Let's see if you guys can see if this works. Oh. See, this is the technology at the best here. All right. Anybody have an idea? What are we going to play? Yeah. Family Feud. There you go. All right. So it was Family Feud. All right. So to play Family Feud, we're going to have teams.
Oh
my. We're going to start out with this table over here. You will be the chime. Put you in charge over here. What are you going to do? Now that's appropriate, isn't it? All right. Don't laugh yet, All right, doorbell. Oh, I need another table. All right. Over here with Steve. That was not meant to do that to you. All right. And let's play. Let's put it up. Let's play Family Feud. All right, so I need the clicker.
It's on the. Yeah.
All right. See, this is, come on. Nobody else does this for you guys. Nobody else does this. All right, this is what we're going to have to play. Now, I will tell you again, it does involve, for those of you who are like, holy crap, I came to hear a lawyer talk about law. We will talk law. You will learn something. All right, so, but we're going to play a game. I need somebody, actually, I need a scorekeeper. Somebody has a piece of paper with a...
Judith.
There, Judith? All right, Judith will be back there.
I need the names of the families.
No, we're just going to call them, ring your bell. Ring your bell. Ding dong. Boing. Definitely a boing. Horn. Bell. All right, bell. Ding dong, sorry. Yeah. All right. So we'll do this relatively quickly. I promise this will not be very painful for long. But this is how it works. This is an example. The table will give your answer. We will pull the board, see what the winning votes were, and then you'll get your point accordingly. And we'll see which one of the four tables wins by the end of the day. By the way, this game only lasts about 6 hours, so you'll be fine. All right, name something you get at the dentist that makes the trip worthwhile. Your toothbrush over there. Keep track.
That was
toothbrush. Toothbrush.
Laughing gas.
Laughing gas. See, this is what I love about this. The stories, we get to know about each other a little better.
Toothbrush laced with nitrous oxide.
That one I don't have. What do we have over here?
What do we have? Toothbrush, yeah.
Toothbrush.
Yeah, we have the toothbrush.
All right, but I think we had toothbrush first over here. All right, and the winner is... Oh, well, that's not good.
Moratorium.
There it is.
Well,
There.
this sucks. I'm gonna have.
Is that a legal term?
Yes, really. This is not. The technology is failing on me. All right. I promise you, the answers are toothbrush for 15. Toothbrush, 15 points over there. Laughing gas for 10 at this table, and clean teeth with no one mentioned. Which would worry me a bit. All right, so we have keep your scores. All right.
Who's the laughing gas table? What's your name?
Laughing gas table is.
Or the bell.
You're the bell. You're the bell. All right. This is what's scary is the rest of these will be unknown answers because apparently my technology didn't work. All right. Moratoriums against self-storage properties are based on what claims? Stupid. That's it. Yeah, that won't work, but close.
They don't build community.
Community. All right. Community over here.
Nuisance.
Nuisance.
Use.
Use. Well,
That's what else.
insufficient use, I guess.
Appearance would be the other.
Appearance. Appearance. All right. So again, this probably won't work. That's why I'm not an IT professional. The answer is, for 15 points, proliferation of facilities. Too many facilities, which you didn't mention, which is the issue of overbuilding. Not a proper use for 10.
Look at that.
Oh, why is
Gotta
it?
click on it.
Gotcha.
How do I?
I have to.
Oh, you have to click on it.
Yeah.
And we'll put them all up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. Fear of criminal activity. Well, Samantha will be at the table the whole time. Fear of criminal activity. So we had use for 10, and no one mentioned proliferation. So I will tell you, in talking with the council people afterwards, the whole issue is impression of the industry that there are just too many of you. And that the concern is that proliferation is the driving force behind the fact of the moratorium. There's just, the sense is too many. We did not hear any issues concerning aesthetics, because you're doing your projects so nice that they do fit into the area, and there's not an impact per se to community except for the criminal issues. I should give you guys 5 points for the community, for the criminal stuff over here.
Right here.
Because there is a subtle concept of that, which is regard to safety at self-storage facilities. And I will tell you, I can't remember the TV show I was just watching the other day, that the guy was going to go get his guns for his break-in, and where did he store them? At the self-storage facility. So they literally, it was NCIS. Yeah, did anyone watch that? Like, he went over to the NCIS and rolled up the door, and there was, like, the guy had the armory set up in the self-storage unit. Now, I have to tell you how the story went. Who was behind it, though? Who was involved? The manager knew about it and was getting kickbacks. So, boo. Okay, all right. Tell us a way in which the family dog can annoy you. Barking. Peeing. Chewing. Shedding. All right. Here we go. Good. These guys are good. This is obviously your dogs annoy you. The answer is barking. Who said barking? Barking is barking. 15 over here. Licking. Licking. It was close to peeing and shedding.
That's 10 points for us.
We'll give them that.
You can't give them.
All right, back to self-storage. Personal property is permitted in a storage unit includes. Now, I get these answers not from my own incredible depth of knowledge of self-storage, but the fact that your Georgia statute specifically allows certain things to be stored and not stored in a storage unit. And if you ever have a question, he's ready. He's ready. If you ever have a question as to, and certainly a battle with your tenants concerning, I have the right to store whatever I want to store, always go back to your statute as well as your lease to fight the battle. So, personal properties permitted in storage includes household goods, I hear over here. That was yours? I'll give you both household goods. Alcohol. Who said alcohol? Who said alcohol? No. Clothes. Furniture, clothes, furniture, household goods, anything else? Other people can play. Paper. Oh, records. Okay. All right. Automobiles. Okay. Let's see what the survey says. Well, I always wanted to say that. So the survey says? Good, Samantha?
Oh, sorry.
Thank God you're here. Household goods. So we'll give them both 15 points here. Two tables at 15 points. Motor vehicles. 10 points. Over there. And business inventory. Judith, who do you want to give your points to?
Oh, let's see.
We'll throw them over to this table over here. The 5. Yeah, we'll give it to paper.
Yeah, Horn has.
Horn. You're good. Paper. It was about house business inventory. It's good. Oh, that's what that button does?
There's 30 points up
Wait,
there.
I want to hear it again.
Okay.
That was in case all of you hate this program. All right, so let's talk a little bit about that. Again, in the context of understanding what your statute provides for you with storage, is it lists, don't forget, in the definitional terms of the statute, it lists the things that are allowed and not permitted in a storage unit. And understand for yourself, the other lesson from this, is the fact that if you're allowing things to be stored that are not permitted by statute, get this, guys, especially since we just had the insurance folks from Vader talk to us about this, it would be an uninsured event for you if you have a loss. So you've got to be watching what people are storing, because your insurance companies could say it's a non-permitted use, and therefore you're not covered for the damage arising from an event that happens at your facility. I'm battling that issue right now. That's why this issue's up as our question. So be very vigilant at your properties with respect to what's being stored. I don't mean to preach to you, but there is a lesson to be learned with respect to each of these questions. All right, let's go to something fun. Name something parents tell their kids not to waste.
Food.
What? Water.
Money.
Money. Food.
We like to try.
Time. I think I saw this on another survey. Things to tell your kid not to waste their lives. Anyway, and the winners are food. Who had food? Food. They had food over there. Next, money. You guys were really, obviously you guys have kids. Money, yes. And electricity. Yes. Remember to turn off the lights. All right. Don't leave the door open, turn off the lights. All right. Next, verified mail. The definition of verified mail by the statute of Georgia statute includes what? Verified mail.
Certificate of mailing.
Certificate of mailing. First class letter with certificate of mailing is defined as verified mail. What else? Certified. Certified mail.
Our post.
Our post is electronic mail. Verified. Anything else?
Timestamp.
Timestamp would be kind of a first class mail certificate of mailing. All right, verified mail. We heard email with verified delivery, first class mail with certificate of mailing, and certified mail. Go for it. I'm so glad you're here. First class mail with certificate, 15 points. Wow. Over here, certified mail. Over here, overnight delivery. Now remember, verified mail is mail. You're talking about an email. We'll come to the email question in a minute. But the context of what is verified mail under the statute is first class mail with certificate of mailing, which is what we want you to do now and not spend the money on certified mail. But certified mail is an option with respect to how you send your letters. If you still want to send certified mail, return receipt requested, you have the right to do that to meet the statutory requirement. And don't forget that verified mail or paper can be delivered by overnight delivery as well. A statutory overnight delivery service like a FedEx, UPS, USPS service constitutes also delivery. So some of you who have trouble finding your tenants that say, I'd like to send this overnight delivery, they'll accept an overnight package, constitutes sufficient mailing for a lien notice. So just think about that as your other options in terms of notices. All right. Name something people consider a snack food. I need to hear the noise. Chips. I hear chips.
Doritos.
Doritos. Very specific. Chips. Doritos.
Pretzels.
Pretzels.
What did you say?
Popcorn.
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 Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Too specific. In the winter, chips. Chips over here. Popcorn. Over there. And peanuts. Not pretzels, peanuts. Haven't been to a ball game recently, I guess. All right. All right, next. A self-storage facility is not a... It's not bailment, so it's not a place to live. Let's make sure we're all clear about that. Self-storage is not a place to live, but let's talk globally. Bailment, it's not a warehouse. Not a warehouse. What else? Self-storage is not a dumping ground. It's a little too general of a question. Let's work with self-storage is not a warehouse and move to the fact that it is not a warehouse. Table over here. Safe deposit box. This is, again, based upon the statute. No expectation of security at a self-storage facility. It is not a safety deposit box. It doesn't have that level of requirement of protection as there may be expectation certainly with a safe deposit box. There's not that with self-storage. In terms of there's cases where the courts have said, this isn't a safe deposit box. This is a self-storage rented space for storage. And third is a vault, similar to that, where there be security or protection. So that's right out of the statute. Self-storage is not either of those things, any of those things, as well as not a place to live. So let me remind you, not a place to live. All right, name something that is better when it's hot. And I have to be careful about this one. Soup. Out here, soup. Here. What? Pizza over here.
Coffee.
Weather over there.
Coffee.
Coffee. You know what's so funny about this? Just because I know what the answers are, isn't it amazing that the same survey, let's put them up. First one, when it's hot, oops, sorry. Coffee. Soup. And pizza. That's really funny. You guys are good. I was waiting for something a little more sorted from you guys, but I'm glad this is a PG audience, so that way, I'll try not to blush in front of you. All right, so under the Georgia statute, a storage unit cannot be used to store
missiles.
Not too far off.
Weapons?
Weapons. Hazardous materials. Drugs. Explosives. All right. Again, based upon the statute. Again, what's so interesting about how the statute dictates the compliance, the regulatory compliance of our industry, addresses the specificity of what can be stored, including, not including, explosives. So your missiles were not, that's a little worrisome. Since you handle the insurance for so many of these, have you ever found missiles in
Don't tell anybody where I store my stuff.
Highly flammable goods. Everybody said
Hazardous.
Hazardous. We'll give hazardous over there, Steve's team. And items for unlawful purposes. No one mentioned.
Drugs.
Oh, drugs. All right. I'm sorry. Drugs. Because I didn't think that was illegal. I forget, I'm not in Colorado. Again, to the extent that there is any challenge to what your tenants are storing, the statute lists very specifically these sort of exclusions. Not that you'd have to, but these are things that you can rely on based upon the statutory information. Name something you shouldn't do when a cop pulls you over. Drive away. Let's just stop right there.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
It's really good advice. Are you a lawyer? There might be a story too. Drive away. What else should you not do?
Argue.
Argue?
Pull your beer out.
Pop open what? Pop open a beer. Anything on this table? Pop open a beer. What's the old joke where the cop pulls over a husband and wife, and the husband's pulled over, and he says something to the cop, and the wife turns over. He always acts like that when he's been drinking.
About the one where the wife was married to a cop before, and he's afraid that he was coming to get her back or something.
That's why I was driving fast. All right, the answers are drive away. This is survey. Talk back. You guys got to talk back and swear. It's almost like opening a can of beer in front of a cop. This is not statutory, but highly recommended. All right. Online lien sales. Online lien sales offer, compared to live lien sales, offer what distinction of benefits? More time. Audience, larger audience, larger audience. More time, larger audience.
Nobody at your facility.
Nobody at your facility. No crowds.
Convenience.
Convenience.
Higher bids.
Higher bids. Good. All those very positive attributes. Survey says longer bidder period. You said more time. Exactly true. No crowds. Over here, Donna. And wider radius of bidders. Who's that sort of, yeah. We'll give you both credit for that one there. 2 tables. That's because it's only 5 points. But
It's so insignificant, you know.
yeah. But oh, and that reminds me. I should remind you as you're waving yourself. The reason that some of your tables have this Zero Odor Pro product on your desks. First of all, that's the prize for putting up with me today. For those of you who have tables. So a vendor approached me. So I'm not selling these. I'm giving these away. I'm actually getting rid of them out of my office. But this is really interesting. So they're a new vendor to the industry. We met them at one of the shows. Gave me lots of samples, which are available to you. And it is it's a molecular destruction of odor. So for those of you who have teenagers, that you can take those in there. It's for household and commercial use. But the reason they brought it to the industry, and then I'll stop selling, but really take them home for those of you on the table, and if they're left over, please take them. I mean, it is something that we have seen. They have told me, and I would believe, that if you have a mildewy smell in your units, that is a molecular creation of that mildew, that products like this, it's not a fragrance, it will destroy the molecular structure of the mildew. So if you have any areas where you want to spray, grab that off the table. And if it works either on your teenagers or at your facility, and let me know and I'll relay it back to the vendor. But that's your party gift for putting up with this today. Name something that teenagers do. Teenagers, it's obviously on my mind. That teenagers do that make their parents angry. Talk back.
Disobey.
Disobey. Talk back. Disobey. Not clean up.
Roll their eyes. Say
So stay out late. Okay. All right. Winner is smoke. Lie. That's kind of. You said lie. I believe you. You sure? We'll give Raj that, or drink. Just saying. Okay, that's what the survey says. All right. Under the Georgia statute, lien notices can be delivered. Now we're talking delivery of the lien notices by email. Yes. The way to say that. Email. William with the email.
Certified.
Certified. Certificate of mailing. Okay. Survey says verified mail, which is your first class mail certificate of mailing here, this table here. Email for William's table over there, and hand delivery. Again, a method of service. Now we've moved to the fact that it's not just mailing, but included within mailing is the emailing component, and of course would be the hand delivery again. Or I should say for the first time, we talked about statutory overnight delivery, certified mail, verified mail. Email is an option under Georgia law, as well as hand delivery. So if your tenant is at your facility, you can deliver the lien notice to them personally at the unit. Some of you aren't comfortable with that, you certainly don't have to, but if that's the only way you can reach a tenant, that is considered delivery of your lien notice, as well as email. And let's talk about email just for a second. How many of you are using like an R-Post service for your email notifications? Just a few hands. All right, how many of you, let's back up, how many of you are using email for lien notices? The same small group. Why are you not? What's the hesitation in the group as to moving towards email communication for liens? How simple that would be. What's the anxiety about it? Because you should all be doing it. It's available to you. It requires no mailing, no postage. It's just an email. Now, what William was talking about in terms of verified delivery of the email can be accomplished through technology. It's a very simple cost of this registered email like R-Post. But as I've joked about before, even a tenant communicating back to you after you send an email notice of the lien that I'll pay my bill, or don't bother me again, or some other response constitutes a delivery of a lien notice under Georgia statute.
Scott, what happens if the person A doesn't respond, or B claims later, I changed my email?
Well, okay, so let's do two things. One, doesn't respond. There's no obligation for the email to be opened or read, the same way that there's no obligation for the certified letter to be opened or read. Similarly, if they change their email address, their burden is to give you their current address for communication. That's an obligation that's put by statute on the tenant. So it's both their mailing address as well as their email address. So if they change email, they can't come back in front of the court and say, well, I changed my email, because my obvious next question to them, as any good lawyer would ask in cross-examination, would be,
Did you notify us?
did you notify us? And they say yes, and I can say, how? And they can say, I don't remember, but I did it. Or I called them. Is that a legal change of address under the statute? No, it has to be a written change of address. So these are the things for you to make your jobs easier and less expensive. That's why we changed the statute to allow email notifications. Yeah?
If an email goes undeliverable in an R-Post situation, that's all the responsibility?
No, that's different. If you are notified that it's undeliverable, then you must, by statute, send it by verified mail. Yeah. So if your emails are not delivered or rejected back based upon the change of the address or whatever, then you would. But if you don't know that it hasn't been delivered, then you wouldn't have that obligation. Judith?
Scott, Outlook has an option One, it says read, but there's another one that says to let me know that this message has been delivered. So you'll get a response delivered or not delivered. Does that count?
Yeah, so the issue about Outlook is that it has not been tested in courts as a legally verifiable delivery service as compared to, and the only reason our post has is because it's been in the industry for many years and it serves both law firms and insurance companies that are required to do this type of notice. I'm not saying you can't use Outlook, but I would do your best to make sure that there's some acknowledgement by the tenant before you would move ahead with the lien sale, unless you're using something like an RPost or a DocuSign that has these verification features. All right, you guys want a little more of this, or am I killing you?
No, it's great.
You're good? You're fine? All right. All right, blame Raj, because he said it was okay. Name famous TV dads.
Cosby.
Thanks for coming. We'll see you later. No, what's his name?
Mr. Huckabee.
Huckabee? Huxtable. All right. Homer Simpson, over here. Famous TV dads.
Al Bundy, yeah.
Steve Harvey. Al Bundy. All right, who said Al Bundy? I got nothing over here. I just got
Al Bundy.
Brady Bunch dad.
Mr. Brady.
Mr. Brady. The answer is Cliff Huxtable. Homer Simpson over there. And Al Bundy. The Brady Bunch dad did make it, but this used to be one of my favorite shows. But anyway, all right. Let's go. Rules of limited lines insurance in Georgia. All right, Christy, you have to know the answers to this. She's got the beeper ready. All right. Rules of limited lines insurance.
Oh, it's
Oh, I'm sorry.
You have to
You have to have a license. License. What else? How long does the license last in Georgia? 2 years. 2 years. What else for limited lines? Do you know that you have the right to sell tenant insurance in Georgia based upon the statutory change that permits you to be a licensed agent to sell tenant insurance in the state of Georgia? Do I hear a hallelujah on that one? Because for those of you who are out there that sell the product, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Sell. No, sell. I'm sorry. If you're a producer, a program that sells insurance. Bader?
No.
Safe Store? Yeah. Doug's Group? Yeah. Public only if you're there. If you're at public, yours is exclusive to the public program, right? Okay. Gives the managers the right to sell the insurance to their customer and derive a commission or fee for you as operators. And if you are not doing it, one, you are taking away the chance of reducing your liability for tenant losses at your facility. So the program obviously protects you if they have a loss because they can go to a third-party company to recover for their damage. And secondly, and maybe some of you as important, is the revenue derived from selling the insurance, which is legal in the state of Georgia. So take advantage, talk to these folks about their insurance programs because that is certainly, it will, as I know Stacy likes to say, it will affect your cap rate later on, right? Right, yes, all right. So rules of limited lines include no examination for the test. So that means we can all pass. Well, some of us can pass. Next, biennial renewal, 2 years, which is actually better than a lot of other states, which is just annual. And I've already dealt with clients that have forgotten to renew and are selling insurance because they thought it was a lifetime license. Next, home office only, meaning only the facility owner needs to be licensed and therefore derives all of the benefit of that license to its managers. Everyone doesn't need to have a separate license to do it. All right, let's keep going. Name something that people are afraid to do alone.
Sleep.
Sleep.
Dying.
What? Dying. Ooh.
No, dying like eat.
Oh, die?
Dying.
Yeah, dying. Dying.
Dining.
Wait, dining or dying?
Dying like eat.
D-I-N-E. Oh, thank God you said that. All right, dining alone.
That's heavy. That was heavy.
Yeah, that was heavy. That was a little too heavy. Because there's no alcohol served after this program. Dying, sleeping, driving, vacation,
Working. Go to a movie.
Talking about an attorney. Going to see an attorney by themselves is scary. All right, let's move on because you guys are getting sorted here. Skydiving.
Wow.
Wow. Watching a scary movie.
Yes.
And walking at night.
Wow.
We didn't get any.
We didn't get any. All right. You guys are starting to get weak on me. All right, a couple more. A lien sale ad must include description of the goods.
Tenant's name and unit number.
Tenant's name and unit number.
Date of the sale.
Date of the sale. Anything else?
Date of the sale.
Date of the sale. Tenant's name, unit number. Description of the goods. Number 1, the survey says, description of the goods, 15 points over here. Number 2, address of the facility. Didn't mention where the sale is going to happen. That could be important. Now, if you're doing an online lien sale, of course, you would list the online provider that's providing the sale, www.storagetreasures.com or something like that. Number 3, the name of the occupant, name and unit number of the occupant. Yes, perfect. All right. What website could you not go a day without visiting?
Facebook.
Facebook. I hear Facebook over here. Google over here. If someone mentions porn, I'm leaving. Instagram. Twitter.
There you go.
You had this look on your face like, what's a website?
Just because I'm mailing out stone tablets. They laugh.
Facebook over here. Facebook over here. Number 2, Google over here. And 3, eBay. This might be a little older. Yeah, these answers are from 1980. All right. What would you do when you find business records in a self-storage unit?
Throw them out.
He's lying.
Shred. Shred.
Notify tenant.
Notify tenant. Yeah. I was waiting for somebody to say notify tenant. Thank you. Yeah. Notify tenant.
Call the news.
Burn them. So I'll put that in the shredding category. Nothing over here. What?
Read them.
Keep them.
Read them.
Sell them. You guys are creating careers for me here, right? All those who want to keep them and sell them. All right. The answer is contact a licensing agency. We forgot about that. If it's a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, investment banker, to contact the licensing agency and say your licensee has abandoned their records, which would subject them to losing their license. And that is true, including, as interesting as you would find, plumbers and electricians who are licensed by state agencies. They still have a fiduciary obligation to protect their customers' records. Now, it's not always going to work, but you can contact the licensing agency through the state, complain about the licensee, have them contact their licensee and see if they'll reclaim the documents. That's 1. Number 2, communicate with tenant. We said communicate with tenant. And number 3, shred the record. So I'm going to give everybody 5 points on that one because you're all maybe not you. You can't burn them, but what you're looking for with regard to record shredding, and we've talked about this before, is a receipt from a third-party shredding company. I know that's expensive. I know it's frustrating to have to spend more money if you've already lost the money with the unit, but the fact that you have an independent third-party receipt for the destruction of the records, especially if they're patient records, medical records, lawyers' records, things like that, will protect you from a claim. If anyone claims later on that, hey, my records were recovered from a self-storage facility and they're the ones who allowed my privacy to be violated, then you could have the receipt to show that you've destroyed the documents properly. All right. Let's name a public place where it's okay to yell.
Football game.
Sports. You're supposed to hit the well, that's all right. Sports. Concert.
Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon.
Gas the meeting. Gas the meeting.
Yeah, with the Grand Canyon.
We're gonna write that in. Number 1, concert. Concert over here. Number 2, sporting event over here. And 3, amusement park, which is the Grand Canyon. It's a live amusement park. 5 points over here, Grand Canyon.
Waving the stone tablets.
All right, and as we graciously may come to the end here.
Protect the tenant.
Yeah, I know. I should know the answers to these questions. I was just actually confirming that this was the last one. Don't cry. Tenant insurance or protection plans are used to
Protect the tenant and the store and the facility. Reduces your license.
reduces your liability. That's a good, succinct answer by product selling right there. All right. Reduce your liability. What? Protect the owner. So that's it. That's reduce the liability, protect the owner. Tenant insurance protection plans.
Increase revenue.
Revenue. I'm glad we brought you out. To have the lawyer say it increases revenue. It's like music to my ears.
Thinking of all of you.
Thank you. No, revenue for us, Vince. That's what I'm talking about. Attorney revenue. They're not laughing right now, Vince. What else? Plans protects the facility, protects revenue, gets revenue, and protects the tenant. All right. And number 1.
Protects the tenant.
Creates monetary recovery for the tenant. Who said the tenant? Protect the tenant first. We'll split it over here, the 2 tables. Next, offers liability protection for the facility, over here. And 3rd, emphasizes non-bailment, which we really didn't talk about. But again, the key, under Georgia law, that you have the right to shift the risk of loss. A tenant has the right, by contract, to shift the risk of loss away from you as an operator to an insurance or protection program by statute, and is enforceable, protects you from claims later on if they don't have insurance and there's a loss. So think through the logic here, and we kind of deal with this question all the time. Oh my God, all of my stuff has been stolen from the facility. All right, the tenant has a theft claim. My property has been stolen. Well, do you have insurance for your property? No. What does that say to you? 2 things. One is it wasn't worth insuring in terms of the value that they're claiming, and likely they'll claim value of $100,000 or more. Yeah. Why would somebody have such valuable property in there and take an inconsistent position and not bother to insure it? It weakens your tenant claims when they assert loss of value when they didn't even have insurance. So that's an important part in terms of protecting yourself with respect to the insurance. And 2, if they bought the insurance, how much did they buy? Some will only buy the $2,000 or maybe the $3,000. But if they have a loss, what will they claim? $50,000 or $100,000. How inconsistent is it that they didn't even bother to purchase the full amount of what you offer as an inconsistent position to a claim that they've lost all of their worldly possessions? These sort of inconsistencies support the fact that you as an operator do not have bailment over your customers' goods. No, and we'll finish with this, the 3 C's. Beep out loud. What are the 3 C's? No care, custody, or control. The base elements of self-storage which protect you from liability. No care of the tenant's goods, no custody of the goods, no control of the tenant's goods. Once you change that relationship, that takes you out of the bailment, out of the non-bailment into a bailment or warehousing relationship. So remember where you stand when you're renting the spaces to your customers. You are renting space, that's all you are. You are a landlord renting space. They are storing their goods, they're taking the risk. You have no bailment. Have them get insurance as that additional way to push liability. Yeah, question?
What is our obligation as an operator to know what the tenant is storing in the unit?
So the question is, what is your obligation as an operator to know what the tenant is storing? And it's only for you to know, for them to disclose what they're storing to make sure it meets your use provisions, meaning if they are rolling in hazardous waste barrels, you have the right to say you can't store those things in there. Or if they disclose to you, I'm going to store pool chemicals, you would not want those in the facility, you would say no. So there's a burden for you to protect yourself to know what's in there. I got this question this morning through the legal network about vehicles. If they're storing vehicles, do you want to have the registration and insurance information on the vehicle? And the answer is yes. not really, it doesn't impose liability on you that you know that it's a valuable car or boat that's being stored. But if they default, how else are you going to pursue your lien foreclosure rights unless you have the registration? And if there's vandalism on the boat or car, how are you going to make sure that they have insurance for the loss as compared to you? So your questions as a tenant comes in about what they're storing and how it's protected are really for you, not for, and don't create liability for you, create more protection for you. All right, and I really do want to wrap up some questions. Steve, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's along those lines. We don't allow tenants to store tires and food, and we have a sign in our office. Now, I don't recall if it's in our lease. Is it sufficient if there's just a sign up in the office?
Well, first it's in your lease. Okay, because the tires are hazardous, and the food is perishable. You'll see the word no perishable. But the sign creates additional protection for you in terms of notice to your customer not to store those items. So anything you can do in terms of additional signage, for those of you who have separate rules and regulations sheet that you provide in addition to your tenant lease agreement that prohibits certain things from being stored, it's a great thing for you to think about in terms of protecting yourself. And the perishable issue comes up because we've talked about this with tenant insurance issues. If there's rodent intrusion into a unit, it's because they're storing something that was attractive to them. Right. And if you have a perishable food restriction in your rental agreement, which you guys do if you're using the Georgia standardized lease, you cannot have liability when the loss. You can't have liability for the most part anyway, but think about the causation of the damage is because they breached the lease. So a party can't breach the lease and then claim to you that you have to pay for the damage.
Yeah, but they go to other units. The mice are then there. They destroy other units nearby.
Right.
It's still not my problem.
It's still not your problem based upon the language of the contract and the law.
But if you don't help those people, you have a problem.
But the preliminary defense of why they intruded on the property is because you had a tenant who caused it by putting food in there. And that's another example of why you would want to know what's being stored, because if they are backing up, and I know this happened at Universal once, I always joke Ann about this, when they brought in pallets of onions to store in a unit. Okay? Yeah, and I mean, at some point they go bad, and when they go bad, they go really bad. And that was the issue about making sure, trying to be a watchful manager and operator to make sure those sort of things are not stored in your property. Yeah.
And one of the things that would be applicable now is flooding and wet product, home items, what have you. People store it in there. Well, it's in a dark, damp place now. Mildew is going to take over your whole storage facility if you're not careful.
Right.
We had that happen to one, and the odor and everything was ruining everybody's.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. So if you see tenants that are moving their property in wet conditions, you have the right to stop them from storing in your property. There's no constitutional right to be a self-storage tenant. I can guarantee you, you will not find this in the Bill of Rights that they have to store in your property. It's your property that you are leasing to them for them to use for storage. If you do not want them to store their stuff, you can turn their stuff away. I'll take one more question.
One
Yeah,
last
yeah.
follow-up on the same kind of line of thinking is, if they have a lien on the property they're storing in your facility,
right?
What's our obligation to know about that? Do we have any liability if we sell their goods and don't know, and they didn't disclose to us that there was a lien?
Okay, so the question is about lien holders. So you have a provision in your rental agreement where the tenant is asked to disclose whether there are any lien holders or parties with a secured interest on the property being stored. There are Rooms to Go, any of these rent-to-own companies. And it would be their duty to disclose that information. Now, I'm going to put aside cars and boats which are titled through a state agency, but if they do not disclose that they have liens on that property and you sell it, you would have no liability. Now, the reason I tell many of you to go ahead and check under the UCC clerk, under the state website, to see if there are any liens under your tenants' names before you sell their property, is because you may discover that there's a Rooms to Go or a Rent-A-Center lien on the property, and you can contact that lien holder, and that creates a remedy for you to get paid to return the property. So it doesn't hurt you to look, but if they don't disclose it, you don't have an obligation to hire a private investigator to see what's going on with their property. And some of you, I know some of you do, which I admire, but you have no obligation to find your tenant. Some of them sometimes just don't want to be found, so you don't have that obligation. And if you are looking for them on Facebook, since you brought up Facebook. Remember, posting a message that you are a deadbeat self-storage tenant is not advisable. A private message about a non-payment of a debt and please contact me would be okay. But there's a difference, and I'm still trying to teach our grandmother about this, is there's a difference between posting and messaging on Facebook, right? So those of you who do this, make sure you know the difference. All right, so guys, again, after 25 years of doing this, you guys are delightful. Love being here. I hope you had fun today. Go forth and store.
Meeting, everyone. Thanks again to Scott, and until next month.
You can yell at Grant, can you, Parker?
So, we have it there.